Alright, this video is lesson number 1, getting started with Jamboard. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to open up your Google Drive. You're going to go over here and you're going to click on this little new, and then you're going to click on more, and then you're going to go down to Google Jamboard right here. You're going to click on that. Once it loads up, it's going to, this is going to be what it looks like. First thing I want you guys to do is I want you to give your Jamboard a title. This way you'll be able to find it when it's inside your Google Drive. So let's just call this My First Jamboard. Okay, and hit enter. So there's the title, and it'll also show up in your Google Drive with that title. So if you lose it, go to your Google Drive and search for My First Jamboard. You'll find the assignment. On the left side, you'll see a series of tools. On the top side, you'll see a series of kind of background setups, and then over here you'll see the share options. Okay, the first thing I want to go over is this top part. If for at any reason you need to zoom in, you can click on the little zoom button and you can zoom in and out. If you want to set your background, you can go here. There's a few different options. For example, if we were doing an activity where we were doing some graphing, you could click on the blue graph, and then it shows up as graph paper there. You could do graph paper, you could do line paper, you can do whatever this dot is, and then you could even do your own background if you really wanted to make something cool. Okay, you could go add an image, and then if you want to do a Google search for an image and type in, I don't know, like dinosaur, you could search for dinosaur and you could add a dinosaur in your background if you really wanted to. Or what I'll have you guys do a little bit later is you guys can add an image from your Google Drive, right? I got a little Hulk fist here. I'm like, hey, that'd be cool on the back of my thing. So I'm going to open that one up and hit set as frame background. All right, cool. And then once you got that there, that's pretty much it. Okay. So now I got my background. It's my Hulk fist. Cool. So that's some of those tools up there. The tools on the left, this is where it gets kind of fun. You got a whole bunch of different tools. I want you to just kind of play with and tinker with those one at a time. So you got the pen tool. If you click on this, you can do pen, you can do marker, you can do highlighter, you can do brush, and those all do a little bit different stuff. So I want you to kind of play with those and just kind of see what they do. And then, so I might do the marker, and then you can do the marker and then go on here and you can kind of draw on it. And also if you want to change the color, just click on one of these guys and then you can do a little doodle with a different color. All right. You got your eraser, pretty self-explanatory. Click, drag, erase stuff. Notice that how if I try to erase my background stays there. Okay. So there you go, the eraser. You got the select tool. If you make a mistake or you want to move something, you can move something with that. I'll show you that in a minute. You got the sticky note. This one's a fun one, right? If you're working on a project and you're like, hey, I want to remind Carl to bring glue for a project tomorrow, you can say, hey, Carl, bring glue, please and thank you. Okay, and then you hit save. And then you can kind of move that around. You can stick that wherever you want to on your little Jamboard, okay? You can put it there. You can click on this. You can rotate it. You can change the size. You can do all sorts of different things. There you go. So there's the sticky note one. Choose different colors if you really want to. You can do the add an image one. This is always fun. You can go here. You can add more images from your, it's kind of like the background one. You can add more images. You can go to your Google Drive and you can add images from your Google Drive. You can do it from Google Photos if you have any. I like to do Google Images and just do a search. So I might just do a Google search for macaroni. Macaroni, right? And I'm like, oh, I want a picture of macaroni in there because we're going to make our car out of macaroni or something. And then you got macaroni on there, right? So you can add images like that. Or you can make your own images. You can do some drawings, right? I might have you guys sketch up some schematics or some ideas before you start building one of your projects or one of your challenges, right? So you might click on the shape thing. You might select the circle, like, oh, here's a circle. I'm going to select the circle again and say, here's another circle. And then maybe I want to do a little box. Maybe this is my car body, right? And then you got that, all right? So you can do different shapes. You got circles, you got arrows. You might grab an arrow and be like, okay, I need to tell people what this is. So I'm going to draw an arrow like this, and then I'm going to rotate it. and then this arrow, and then that might take you to your next tool, which is the text box, right? Click on that text box, go here and say, this is my macaroni wheel. People make wheels out of macaroni, I'm not sure, but they might. Okay, so this is my macaroni wheel. You can label your sketches or you can label your drawings with that. Similarly, if I ask you to write a little quick response, I might ask you to use that as well. And then lastly is kind of a fun one. This is the laser pointer. If you guys are given a presentation, this is a pretty fun one. Basically, if you click and drag, you can kind of circle stuff and then watch. It'll kind of like fade away. So if you're given a presentation, you can be like, hey, Carl, I left you a note here, and then I added this little Hulk fist here because I thought you guys would like it. And don't forget about the macaroni wheels. We need macaroni, right? So that's just kind of a live feature you'd use if you were sharing your thing. The last thing I want to show you guys is the share option. If you guys were to work with each other, which you guys will be, this is how you would share your Jamboard. You'd go up to here where it says share, and then you got some settings up here. Okay, for yours, I want you to change yours from restricted to Cherry Creek School District. That way anybody in our district can see it. And then make sure this is set to viewer, okay? Viewer means they can look at it, but they can't make changes. If this is set to editor, be careful, because if somebody is a bonehead and logs in there, they can really mess up your stuff. So make sure it just says viewer. Now, if you have friends that you're working with and you want to invite your friend to work on your Jamboard or your project planning, here's what you do. You click on this, and then you type their name in the top, and then their name should show up, okay? I'm going to share mine with Mr. Foyle. I'm going to pretend like he's my my project partner. Click on John Foyle, and now he has access to be an editor, right? And it says notify people. That should send them an email. And then I just say, hey, John, check out my cool Jamboard. And then I just hit send. And then that should send him an email, and then he should be able to have access to it through his Google Drive. All right, the last thing I want to show you guys is adding frames. So I've basically created one page. If you go up here to this little thing that says, you got the little arrows, if you click right, it's going to add another page, okay? If you click right, it's going to add another page. You click right, it's going to add another page. So if you guys each wanted to add a different page, and you would have one page and your partner would have another page, that would be totally fine. And then each one of these could be a little bit different. So then you could do that. So you could flip from page to page to page. Or if you have a bunch of pages in here and you want to kind of see them all, if you click on this middle thing where it says expand frame bar, you can see all your pages right here. Now, if you see one page and you're like, oh, I don't want that page, or oh, I just want to delete it, you can click on these three dots and you can hit delete. Or if you're like, whoa, this was really good, I need to use this and, use it again. Click the three dots and you can duplicate it and make a copy of it, okay? So there you go.